Hi, welcome to a video training of the new RPR Refresh, Realtors Property Resource, a benefit of your National Association of Realtors membership. My name is Robert Rodriguez with the Miami Association of Realtors. In this video, we'll go over the new RPR platform recently refreshed back in February of 2021. Miami members get to access RPR from inside of your Miami dashboard by logging in and looking for the RPR logo. You may also access RPR by going to nerrpr.com. From your mobile devices, you want to download the RPR mobile app to your iPhones or Android devices by visiting your app stores. Let's begin by visiting your profile on the upper right corner. You want to locate your picture and you want to select Profile. From in here, you have the opportunity to load your photo and a company logo. On the right hand side, you'll notice your last name, your NERDS ID, and also your email address. You can change your password to the right as well. Underneath your photo, you have your contact information, your office name, your phone number, your email address, and a website. Underneath for MLS, you will add your agent license number and select the MLS that you participate as a member. Make sure to click on Save when finished. Now let's go to the top and select Settings. Inside Settings, you have a few RPR defaults such as residential, set new listings to 30 days. You have a little sliding bar that you can set your new listings to 7 days, 15 days, or 30 days, whichever you choose. This allows you to search for listings up to 30 days. For recently sold properties, you do have 180 days for a default. When running comps, it'll show you sales within the last 180 days. You will have the same settings for commercial. As a default, 30 days for new listings and 180 days for closed sales. Underneath, you have My Markets. This is a way for us to follow activity in any particular market. All you need to do is enter the city or zip code and then select the city, and now you've added the city to your My Markets section. Now let's go back to the upper right corner and click on Save when finished. And let's select Home. Notice now the new navigation bar inside of your RPR program, including Home, Research, Marketing, Reports, Learn, and Help. Inside of Help is where you will access the toll-free number for RPR tech support, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You also have the ability to chat live with an RPR agent by selecting Live Chat. Click on the training area to view more ways to learn from the RPR team. Send an email to tech support by emailing support@nerrpr.com. And the last item in your navigation bar is My Work. My Work gives you access to your markets, your listings, your saved properties, your recent properties, your reports, your notes, your saved searches, your recent searches, and intro to My Work is a video that shows you about this section. Now notice to the upper left corner you do have an option to select residential or commercial RPR. Currently we are logged into the residential. You do have a search bar right here which allows you to search for an address, city, zip code, or neighborhood. To the right you do have the type or status which allows you to search for properties that are for sale or for lease or public record, and you can select your statuses from the active, active under contract, pending, on hold, closed, withdrawn, canceled, or expired listings. You can select multiple transaction types, and also you can select multiple statuses as well. To the right of type and status, you do have property type. Property type allows you to select single family home, condo, townhome, or apartment, co-op, mobile homes, other residential, multifamily, multiplex, lot, land, or farm and ranch. You can also select multiple property types for your searches. And then you have filters to the right. This allows you to select all your options from one page. You have your type and status, your property type, your price range, your bedrooms and bathrooms, living area, lot size, number of units, your distressed property options such as pre-foreclosure, short sale, foreclosure, not auction, and foreclosed properties, bank-owned or REO. If looking for properties for open houses, you can always place a check mark and enter a date range for your open houses. New to RPR, now you have the ability to search for properties by a specific land use. Open the drop-down menu and then select the particular land use that you are looking for. Inside of miscellaneous field, now you also have the opportunity to select owner-occupied homes or absentee owners. You can look up owners by name, properties by year built, and even time owned of the property. So if prospecting, you can use RPR to search for homes where the owner has been there 0 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, or 20 or plus years. To the right, you have the most popular keywords used in a residential search, such as 2-car garage, 2-story, 3-car garage. You have basement, beachfront, corner lot, cul-de-sac, and many other options. This is all part of your filters for your searching inside of RPR. Let's click on home. Underneath the searching, you do have shortcuts. You have prospect for clients, search using a map, create a report, investor analysis, opportunity zones, create a CMA, and tour your homepage. You can collapse your shortcut by selecting the 3 dots to the right hand side, and this will allow you to collapse your card. To expand the cards, you simply select here and then select expand card, and now you have your shortcuts once again. Underneath your shortcuts, you do have my markets. So let's take a look. We're currently looking at the Coral Gables market, which has 32 for sale properties, 37 for lease properties. You do have 23 price changes. You have 50 pending, 29 closed sales, and then you have here 47 for lease, and you have 0 distressed properties. To see a particular property from inside of your map, you simply select the property and view details. You can switch to another market by selecting one of the markets you have below. Here, we're going to concentrate on 33129. This is going to go ahead and draw a boundary around the zip code of 33129, letting us know the active, pending, closed sales, distressed listings, and much more. You will see all the markets I have chosen to appear under my markets down below. Let's go back up and let's click on home. If you switch to commercial RPR, now you go to the right and you'll see the property type. You have commercial, healthcare, wholesale, motel, industrial, multifamily, land, office, restaurant, bar, retail, shopping center, or special purpose. Let's switch back to residential. And once again, now we have single family home, condo, and other property types for residential real estate. To search for a property by address, simply type in the address of the property here, plus the city or the zip code, and then select search. This will bring up the property. Here we're looking at 1020 Obispo Avenue. You will see the Google Street View plus the overhead view by selecting overhead. If the property were listed, you would see a slideshow of photos from that particular listing. To the right hand side, you do have a small version of an interactive map. And if you'd like to see the larger version, simply click on the map, and now you're looking at the larger version of the interactive map. This allows you to see your neighbors, the value of the homes, and by selecting one of the homes, you can now switch to that home and select view details to view details of that particular property. To the right of the interactive map, you do have the ability to zoom in or zoom out. You have the different views of the map. You have satellite view, you have the aerial view, road view, and terrain view. Let's switch back to road view. You can draw on a map by selecting draw, freehand draw, radius, polygon, or box. Let's draw a box. Here you can select search in this area or create a market activity report for the area. Let's click on search in this area. You'll notice in this area we do have one active listing on the upper left corner at $1,300,000. To see the property, simply select the property and click on View Details. To remove the boundary, simply select Remove Boundary on the upper right corner, and that's going to remove your drawing. Once again, you can draw a freehand shape, radius, polygon, or a box. If you want to see properties in public record, simply draw, click on search in this area, And then go to the search options at the top and then select public records and then click on search. And now you have every single property in the area based on public records. Let's remove the boundary once again. You can set driving directions by selecting driving directions. You can go with travel time, distance, or traffic counts. So let's practice distance. Let's place the first pin right here and then click on next. And then let's select a driving distance of 3 miles and select next. And this will draw a radius of 3 miles from that center point, allowing you to look for properties for sale within a 3-mile distance. Click on search in this area, go to the top, select for sale, select a property type, select active, and then click on search. Here are all the properties for sale within a 3-mile radius from that center point. To see the results, go to the upper right corner and you have 3 options. You have the list view, you have the photo grid view, and you have the map view. Going back to the list view, this allows you to select multiple listings that you like to see by placing a check mark on the left-hand side. You can also say that you like the property by clicking on the heart to the right to favorite the property. Once you select the listings, you can always click on print if you like to print this report. You can click on mailing labels to create labels for your prospecting. And you can create a report by selecting create a report. Now let's go back and let's uncheck these listings. And let's go back to the status and let's select expired. Let's remove active. And notice your expired date ranges back 3 months. Let's click on search. And there are 60 properties that expired within the last 3 months. This allows you to select the properties and then click on mailing labels for your prospecting. Begin by selecting which layout you'd like. Which label type? We have Avery 5160, which is the most commonly used label. You have Avery 5161 and Avery 5162. Select the address type. You have property address or the tax billing address. Remember, tax billing address reaches the owner wherever they may live, as where the property address reaches the property. Then you want to address the label to the owner name or current resident, or simply just current resident, or you can even go with a custom name. For filters, you have owner occupied, or you want to reach all absentee owners. You can exclude listed properties by selecting exclude listed properties. Exclude properties on the do not mail list if you wish to not send properties mail that are on the do not call list. To download the report, you simply select print, and this will download a PDF file to your computer with the labels. Remember, RPR gives you a limit of 2,000 labels that you can export each month. Let's close out this window and go back to RPR. So here we have shown you how to use the map for RPR from inside of a property in Coral Gables. Let's go back to the map by selecting map on the right hand side. And let's remove the boundary. Points of interest is something that's coming soon to RPR. We can also search by schools by selecting public, private, or charter school, elementary, middle, or high school. Let's click on high school. And notice right here you do have a high school. Let's select and see that this is Coral Gables Senior High School. It will draw a boundary around the Coral Gables Senior High School area, allowing you to search for properties in this area by selecting search in this area. Enter a price range and then click on search. Here we have 108 properties for sale in the Coral Gables Senior High School boundary. To see the properties, go to the upper right corner of your map and select List. Remember that you can also select Grid View to see the properties with the photo. If you wish to save this search, go to the upper right corner and select Save, and then give the search a name and click on Save. Now let's go back to the top, click on Home, and remember your saved searches are located under My Work, My Saved Searches. And here we have the homes for sale in the Coral Gables Senior High zone. And here are your results. To delete a saved search, you want to uncheck the heart on the upper right corner and then select delete. Now let's select a property from your results. Here we have a property for sale in the MLS. You have your summary page, history page, charts, refined value, CMA, and neighborhood. The property address with the photos of the listing. You can go photo to photo or expand the photos in a larger page to then select to see all the photos at once. You can see the photos in smaller thumbnail view and even turn on a slideshow presentation of the photos that will automatically rotate your photos. Underneath, we have property summary. This tells you the property is active at $525,000. To the right-hand side, you have the RVM, which is a realtor's valuation model. If you want to find out more about the RVM, simply select the price, and then a pop-up window will open up, letting you know the RVM is at $498,300. It was updated on February 24th, 2021. Your RVM range is between 473 and 523, and it has a 5-star confidence. RPR's RVM says this property is worth anywhere from 473 to 523 with a 5-star confidence. To see the properties used in the RVM, simply go to the bottom of the map and you will see all the properties used to determine the value of the subject property. This is not a comp analysis or a CMA. This is simply an estimation of the value of the property, which is the realtor's valuation model. You can print your RVM by selecting print, or you can close by selecting the X on the upper right corner. Underneath, you have basic facts about the home. It's been 99 days in the market, plus the owner name. This property last sold back in 2019 at $290,000. You have a location description. You have property facts, where you can compare the public records versus the listing facts or make your changes on the right-hand side. If you do make changes, make sure to click on save so you can save the changes you made to your property. And then you want to document notes at the bottom by selecting notes and then document your changes here in the notes section. Underneath, you have information about schools in the area. You have elementary, middle, and high school with their school ratings. You have MLS price change history, interior features, exterior features, lot size, location details, owner name and owner mailing address, legal description, and the taxes. This property in 2020 paid a total of $5,787 in taxes. Underneath, you have the deed records showing you the last transaction was in 2019 for $290,000. Who was the seller and who was the buyer? If you scroll to the upper right corner, underneath the interactive map, you have the listing agent and the listing agent information, the agent remarks. You have additional resources such as the Evaluate tool, which allows you to analyze investment properties for flipping or for rental income. And then also the showing time, which allows you to schedule a showing directly with the listing agent. Underneath, you have the ability to add more notes, add photos to the property, or create a seller proceeds, which is an estimated net sheet of the cost of the sale of the property. Historical records for the property showing you the MLS listing history. You can compare historical records by selecting Compare Historical Records. And here it's showing you today's activity versus the 2019 activity for this property. You have the photo description of each property and all the photos for the listing. This is an excellent way to show you how the property has improved since the last time the property was sold. Now, if you wish to print the summary report, you can select print and this will print your summary page. To save the property, select save and this will place it in your home page under saved properties. Let's select history. Here we have sales and financing activity for the property. You have prior sales transactions and you have your tax information. And here we have charts displaying the yellow line is the subject property versus the zip code, county, and Florida. Letting you know that the house is actually higher than the county median estimated value, the zip code, and the state. You have median estimated home value versus median listing price, median sales price versus sales volume. You have sales volume. You have median listing price versus listing volume. And you have listing inventory and inventory of distressed properties. We have median sales price by square footage. And all of these are charts that you can include in your presentation of this property. Now let's move on to refine the value of the property. This allows you to make changes to the property if any home improvements have been made. For example, if you want to add more square footage to the property, let's go ahead and add an additional 130 square feet to the property and select apply. And now we added an additional $23,696 in value to the property by increasing the size of the property. Only use this refine tool if you can confirm that the property actually is larger than the tax roll. Click on reset to reset to original value. Below, you can refine the value by home improvements. You can open the drop-down menu and then select your home improvements. So let's remodel both bathrooms, and let's say it's bathroom remodel mid-range. You have mid-range and upscale. Let's select date completed, January of this year, and we spent a total of $10,000 remodeling both bathrooms. Let's select add, and this adds an additional $7,000 to the value of the home by remodeling both bathrooms. Now let's go and remodel the kitchen. Let's look for major kitchen remodel, mid-range. And once again, January of this year. And let's spend $15,000 to remodel the kitchen. Let's click on add. And now we have an additional $16,640 of combined value for the subject property. This is an excellent tool that allows you to improve the value of a renovated home. Let's click on reset. And then underneath you have the ability to refine the value on needed improvements. So let's say a buyer is placing an offer on this property, but the roof needs to be repaired. So you can enter here, needs new roof. And then you're going to say the total cost is going to be $20,000 for the roof, and then you're going to select add. And now notice there's a negative $20,000 that allows you to adjust the price of the property by $20,000. This, of course, will be used by buyers wanting to offer less for a property that needs repairs. Let's click on reset to original value. You can also refine the value based on market and home conditions. So for example, if the market is very hot, you want to select here and move the slider to the right, and you will be adding value to the property. If the market is not so hot, then you want to move it to the left, and you are deducting value to the property. You can do this for local market conditions, home exterior conditions, home interior conditions, lot size, view, and privacy. Now that we studied how to refine the value, now let's find the value of the property by selecting CMA. Begin by always selecting comparative analysis. This is the CMA that realtors will use. The sales comparison analysis is usually reserved for appraisers. So we want to go ahead and close that out and make sure you always select the comparative market analysis. You have 5 steps to creating a CMA inside of RPR. Begin with step number 1. Click on confirm facts. You want to confirm the facts of the home, and you want to select confirm facts and close. Step 2. You want to select find comparables. This allows you to select your comps from the map. First, let's confirm the property type and the property statuses that we're looking for. In this case, we're looking for active listings, we're looking for pending listings, and closed listings. For date range, we're going back 6 months by entering a date range here. Enter your desired bedrooms and bathrooms for your comps, your desired living square foot area range, and then your lot size range. When finished, you want to go down and you want to hit search. Now we're looking at a map with the recent sales. Take a look at the bottom. You have subject property. You have a blue circle for properties that are active in the MLS. You have a blue circle with a black outline that represent pending listings. And then you have a blue square representing sold listings. So here we have a property that's sold. You can select the property by selecting use this as a comp. Here we have another property that's sold. Use this as a comp. And then here we have another property that's sold and use this as a comp. Okay. If you want to select a few active listings, go ahead and select an active listing. Use this as a comp. And let's go with one more. Use this as a comp. So now we have selected 5 properties to use as a comp, and we're anywhere between $326,000 and $533,000. Select Update Valuation and Close, and this will give you an average of all 5 comps that you chose. To adjust the price or to adjust your comps that you choose, you can also select Edit now for number 2 and go ahead and remove some of the comps you wish to not use in your example. So for example, if we want to remove this comp that sold for $395,000, we can remove it. You can remove this one as well. You can remove any of these comps. If you wish to add more comps, you can simply select here and you can add another comp. In this case, growing our value up to $618,000 as a max and still staying at $326,000 as a minimum. And then click on Update Valuation and Close. Now we have a new average of $431,322. Let's click again on Edit for number 2 and show you that you can also use geography for your comps on a map by selecting geography and then looking into micro neighborhood. Micro neighborhood is going to look directly into the subdivision for this property called Pinehurst Villa in Miami, Florida. You can click on search in this area and it's only going to search in this particular area. You can go with micro neighborhood, you can go with minor neighborhood, you can also use intermediate neighborhood, which is this whole area known as Flagami, and you can go with macro neighborhood as well. Let's reset the map. And now that we have our comparables chosen, we're going to select Update Valuation and Close. And see that for number 3, you can always adjust your comps by selecting Adjust Comps. And then if the subject property is in better conditions than this comparable, you can say this property is in worse conditions, therefore increasing the value to your subject property. You can do the same for all of your comps if you can confirm that each comparable is in worse condition than your subject property. You'll do this by selecting the photos of the property and then seeing the photos and seeing the conditions of that particular property. And notice this property is renovated. So we can safely say that this property is in worse conditions. Same with this one. And then same with this one. Okay. We're making adjustments to the properties. And then you can always write notes down here and then click on Update Valuation. And now we have an adjusted value for the property of $446,000. You can click on Edit for number 4 and you can recommend the price. Remember to always recommend the price from your range of $357,000 to $617,000. So in this case, we're going to leave it just as it is, and our new price is $446,335. Now let's select Create a Report. This will give you the option to generate one of many reports. In RPR, you have a property report, which is usually used by buyers. A buyer would like to see the property details plus the property photos, the CMA, as well as neighborhood and school information. This is your buyer's report. Remember that if you create your property report with all the elements chosen, you are looking at approximately 28 pages. You can view a sample of your report by selecting View Sample. On the right-hand side, you can also upload your custom pages by selecting Manage Custom Pages, and this allows you to upload PDF files from your computer into your report. You simply select here, and then click on Add Another Custom Page, and this allows you to select a PDF from your computer, adding them to your report. Let's close the property report, and the most common report is the seller's report. Now notice the seller's report says it is approximately 81 pages long, so I am going to teach you how to remove some of the pages from this report. You also have a property flyer, which is 1 page. You have a mini property report, which is 12 pages. We're going to skip right over the valuation workbook, usually done by appraisers. We have the market activity report, which is usually 26 pages long. You have the neighborhood report, which is 10 pages long, and you have a school report, approximately 10 pages long. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to select the more popular report, which is the seller's report. We'll notice that we do have 2 PDF files that I have included in the system. We're going to only select one. Now, for the elements for a seller's report, I normally like to include the property values, the comp analysis result, and the comp analysis range. I also like to include the home facts. We will remove the extended home facts, the refined value, the property photos, historical photos, property history, assessed values, and mortgage records. We are also going to remove the sales and financing activity, market activity, and the market health charts and comparisons. If you remember from the property details, the charts section, you can include this chart section by selecting market health charts and comparisons. We are going to include the comps, the selected market activity with the map and the grid. However, we're going to remove the entire market activity section for active listings pending, recently sold distressed properties, and expired listings. This alone creates about 35 to 40 pages of your report that you really don't need for a seller presentation. We are going to include the recommended pricing strategy, which has the refined value calculation and the comp analysis calculation. We're going to remove the seller proceeds and the about RPR data. We're going to make sure that we're showing at least 2 pages of photos. Limit the market activity section to 8 properties. We want to see both the comparables and the side-by-side comparables. And then we're going to remove the seller proceeds. We're going to suppress the estimated value for the subject property, suppress the estimated value for the comps, and we're also going to suppress the refined value for the subject property. At the bottom, you do have the option to create the PDF right here by selecting Display Now in a PDF, or email it to a customer by writing the email address here and then selecting Run Report. RPR Now will generate the report, which should be ready in a few minutes. If you look to the very top of the page, you do see the report section in the navigation bar with a number, and that number tells you that you have 3 reports in your bin that are waiting for you to open. Taking a look here, you do have the seller's report, which is currently finalizing, and once it is final, we will see it. Now that the report is ready, we're going to select Download Report to see the PDF. Here we have the cover page with your logo, you have the photo of the property, and your photo with your branding. The second page is going to include the comp analysis price of $446 with a range from low to high. You're going to see public facts, listing facts, and any changes you made to the right-hand side. You are going to see the comps on a map as well. And then your side-by-side comparisons. And then 1 comparable per page, letting you know the sales price and the days on market for that particular property. Here we have another one that sold at $395 and it took 180 days to sell. You will display this CMA for your seller's presentation. Now here we have the selected recent market activity showing the market activity for active listings, for pending, distressed listings, and expired listings. Underneath you have the recommended pricing strategy letting you know that the median price in this area using the user selected comps is $430,945. And the average is $431,322 with my adjusted value. Now we brought my price up to $446,000. The last page of my report is the uploaded PDF that I included inside of my presentation. This is the most popular report from RPR, which is the seller's report, usually used as a CMA presentation. Let's close the report and make sure that you download the report to your computer because you do have 30 days. RPR will only hold your reports in the report bin for 30 days. After 30 days, they will delete your report and you would have to create another report. Now let's practice on creating a neighborhood report. Let's go ahead and select neighborhood report. And here we have neighborhood housing stats and charts, neighborhood people stats and charts, neighborhood economic stats and charts, quality of life, and the RPR data. Let's remove the RPR data. Let's use the public records and listings as a data source. And then let's go down and click on Run Report. While this report is being generated, let's now click on School Report. Decide what grade level the children are in. So let's go ahead and select high school and click on Select. The report elements include summary, reviews, nearby schools, nearby properties for sale, and the RPR data. Let's remove RPR data. And here we have the option to select public, private, or charter school. We have neighborhood school level filters, elementary, middle, or high school. Nearby schools. Let's select within 1 mile. Nearby properties for sale within 1 mile. And then let's run the report by selecting Run Report. And if you want a market activity for this market, you're going to select Market Activity. And the elements to the report include estimated home values, 12 months change in estimated values, concentration of distressed properties, sales price, list price, market activity summary stats, market activity property details, and the RPR data. Changes within the last 3 days, last week, last month, last 3 months, or 6 months. Let's go with the last week. You can do a market activity for properties that are for sale or for lease. Your change types, we have new listings. Let's go ahead and select closed, expired, distressed, pending, price changes, and open house. For your property types, let's select single family home. You can put in here a sales price and then select Run Report. And here we're generating a market activity report for zip code 33126. Now let's view the neighborhood report, which is now ready. Here we have the neighborhood report, usually a great report to give to a buyer who's not familiar with this area and wants to know more about the neighborhood. You got your housing stats and charts, which goes over the median estimated home value of each property in the zip code. You got the median sales price versus sales volume. You got median list price versus listing volume. You got price range of homes sold, price per square foot of homes sold. You got size of homes sold, age range of homes sold, number of bedrooms in homes sold. Here we have the people stats and charts showing you the population at 51,600 in zip code 33126. The population density is 5,500 people per square mile. That's a 3.2% increase over the last 10 years. The median age is 42 years old, and the male-female ratio is 47%. Here we have education levels, population of children by age group, population of adults by age group, households with children, household income brackets. Then we have economic stats and charts, letting you know what the median household income is in the zip code and how it compares to the city, the county, and Florida. Unemployment rate, occupational categories, and then quality of life. This is your neighborhood report. Once again, a great report to give to a buyer not familiar with the area. Now let's open the school report. And this shows the Coral Gables Senior High School zone. First and foremost, information about Coral Gables Senior High School. It is 9th through 12th grade. The address and the phone number to the school. It has an overall grade level of B+, with an academic grade of B+, and then a teacher grade of B. You will see some reviews left by students or parents. And then nearby schools within 1 mile. And nearby properties for sale within 1 mile as well. This is your school report for this particular subject property, which is a great report to give, again, to a buyer looking to move into this neighborhood. Let's close this report out and let's open the last report, which is your market activity report. Your market activity report is more of a snapshot of zip code 33126, showing the median estimated value of a home is $392,000. That's an increase of 0.77% over the last month, with an increase of 1.2% over the last quarter, and up to a 12% increase over the last 24 months. Underneath all these maps, now you will see activity in zip code 33126 for new listings within the last week, new pending contracts within the last week, and the closed sales within the last week. This is your market activity report for zip code 33126. Let's close the report out. Now let's click on home. In RPR, you can always click on research if you like to search for properties, conduct a map search, a neighborhood search, a school search, a market activity search, commercial site selection, commercial map insights, and then you can watch a video how to use this navigation bar. Now to do a school search, you simply select school search, enter the city, state, or zip code. So let's enter zip code 33134. You can filter by school name, all school types, and then click on search. Here we have the schools in zip code 33134 with your elementary schools, middle and high schools, and their ratings. You can generate a school report by selecting one of the schools and then selecting create a report to the upper right corner. And this will allow you to generate a school report like we did before. Let's go back to research. If you like to research a neighborhood anywhere nationwide, select neighborhood search. Put in a zip code. Click on search. And here we have the median estimated value for a home in zip code 33149 at $1,048,000. That's a 9.5% increase over the last month and a 15% increase over the last 12 months. You can go over housing, people, economy, and quality of life, and you can create a neighborhood report by selecting create a report to the right-hand side. Let's go back to research, and if you want to do a market activity, you're going to click on residential market activity. Once again, put in a zip code. Select your change type. Let's go ahead and click on for sale. Let's click on new listings and closed sales over the last month. And then click on property type and let's select single family home only. And then let's click on search. Over the last month, we had 77 properties that are either listed or sold in zip code 33134. You can always view the list view by selecting list, your photo view, and then of course your map view. And you can create a report by selecting create market activity report on the upper right corner. Let's go back to research, and if you want to search on a map, you can always click on map search, and this allows you to search market activity using the map. Now we do have a separate class for commercial RPR, so stay tuned for that, where we will go over how to use RPR to study commercial properties, neighborhood demographics, stats, and much, much more. Now let's click on marketing. In marketing, you have prospecting for residential clients. You have prospecting for commercial clients, which we'll go over in the commercial RPR class. You have create a residential property flyer, create a commercial property flyer, and you have a video about marketing tips. Let's click on prospecting for residential clients. And this will take you on a step-by-step guide on prospecting. So here we have prospect for clients. We're looking for sellers. So let's click on sellers. Then it tells you start by clicking on research. Next, you're going to click on map search. Once you click on map search, then you're going to select here that you're looking for expired listings within the last 3 months. You're going to draw a shape around the area that you like to prospect. Click on search in this area, giving us 7 properties, and you want to generate your labels. You're going to select here, and then you're going to click on mailing labels to generate your labels. This is part of prospecting for sellers. You can also prospect for buyers by selecting prospecting for residential clients and then select buyers. This is going to take you back to research, and then it's going to take you to map search, and then you will look for renters who may be renting a property who may want to purchase a property. Remember, reports is where you'll find all of your reports, including your report bins, and the orange numbers tells you how many reports you have sitting inside of your report bin. And lastly, Learn has a section of videos and Q&As where you can learn from the RPR team. This wraps up our RPR Refresh training. As always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to your trainers, and that is trainers@miamire.com. We want to thank you for watching and thank you for being Miami members.